yen nase ne be nyame na ya bomode anso apema koyenim say send the TV ano we have to win these elections for mother Ghana intino because apema koyenim.
Right, nano memenda kwasi that demonstration be called. So who say must start raising concern yadayin.
Oh, I think say enye osha so tie pa na follow news you'd realize say almost everybody is raising concerns against their economy. Say yet your mind muna ye nyina ye wo o mind baako. Na ye pese ye cheche mind no. And you agree with me, say whatever it is, no Ghana ni bi on person, new person or mind ebo, and now on mind be say. Na yembra ya cheche no so say utubi nya ho kwan eye demonstration and protest bi a ope. It is a when nya ho akudja na wo ye demonstration na dedi kan aden ne say wo demonstration no eye how and I use see akwan ema other citizens. Because you see, right now, and I'm running my right second demonstration. So I'm running so the mommy right to say,
of course.
It becomes quite difficult when you share some of the visuals are protesters are block a choir or more catch it, mammy for Colani Penufua, Ubu Oko Hospital, Ubu Kodidra, no catch and say, Sabi, and you back one sure say Sabi, Aboa. Say. I don't know we be jina ewiem na ye protest na oso be dwane e dey so mo di traffic no abre di traffic no abre next time ba be dwane na anya bia me ba wo o man na ewo mu no ye wo mbre bi e che se miracles me ye protest so bia be ka me ho ana mbre bi e che se wo ye protester e say by force ye na be ka ho adentina wo protester wo ye no sebe se to aso mu ana se e to me maso ma be join no na me boa so ye protester man be join no. Why do you block roads and insist to say it's say man ba be ka ho nti o ma life aye unbearable amame and this is the same group of persons that almost say ye protest and be a Ghana be konim what's a contradiction and that's why I keep saying say these are in fact they are plain criminals.
Wow.
Because only police for jina ho protected properties lives including mo ankasa mo ye demonstration na se moko kopem omo mu piepie wona mu ne omu DSC na se utumi wura police for car mu eyi safoa na udi dwane na se why say wo shebufu na police did nsa account on nsa account na bi basa ide aba and you see the reason why this gentleman Olivia Nakasa I think say he man too much every and say sabi nipa bebre ewo problems over the number one ha hu and I must be very honest with you because you know what this was the first time
yeah.
And if you want share the plot no anytime obeka say okoye protest no the objective and say we protest him say news obenya fi protest him say police for ni menya akasakasa I don't know if you've
attention seeker
every time bia obekọ abonten so okoye protest no news are opefri ni protest ni mu nya at the corporate into corporate joti we why protest ayaya ba obisa Ghana ni bia say even the oye ni sisi and the who protest no ye kra Ghana for brain what Ghanaians are hearing say wafa
what's illegal mining demonstration
na illegal mining demonstration block 37 military hospital in any case what person demonstration na say a genuine demonstration na say dia obetima your baby but why should you do it to inconvenience everybody to the extent that I saw a gentleman here on your more argument say me mami yare me the neighbor hospital ma block kwa mo say me kon wan why are you doing this I was even thinking say Uncle Menya Badam Pakas, oh, Besenko, or Omokachen say, na, what but down Ghana for baby Baku and I day. Oh, yes, those videos are all there. I can give them to you for you to play. The gentleman be done demonstration be your account. The way Trump is and that's what he said on live TV and recorded on video. Now, Maminka was in B. When him say about a week or two ago, NDC for your demonstration. What's a basabasabi? So the point is that there is absolutely nothing wrong with our democracy. There is absolutely nothing wrong with our policing system. There's something wrong with this group of persons. Because this is the same group of persons some 6-7 months ago. I'm called the same spot. This is the same gentleman who be trying to say national security for final call baby so my man is car no evidence for video say audio one from Badam. So how come say Obi I was so person who push here from democracy hub nko de okwa bonte so okwa demonstration na o hye nkrofo properties e hye nkrofo japade na mum omo ka wo ho no omo so kwa demonstration omo tumi ye demonstration abasabasa bia anyeden emba. Indeed, if by a week or two ago and this for your demonstration in kabasabasa bi baya okay, there's a pattern. But if you want, check the last 2-3 years demonstrations are nyina na ko check say which of those demonstrations are in the last 2-3 years in the basabasa this same group of persons. I can tell you that within the period of say 24 months and this for a protest demonstration by 4, these same guys on my demonstration by 5, none of the NDC demonstration had any problem by NDC for Nantia call Jubilee House anymore at the petition a command deputy chief of staff. They've done like twice or 3 times. Recently there's almost a year but could be some year war your friend is saying circle Nanti bar a Jubilee House day. So the question is that how come say every other group a protesting demonstration but this same guy and his group, and you see anytime he's on demonstration he doesn't concentrate on the demonstration also on Twitter not on incite it. So what he does is that once the demonstration is ongoing he goes about taking videos and pictures and sharing it on Twitter to incite people. Ask yourself, once a day one will be anti some demonstration. Day one also be anti some demonstration be day one. It's because day one when you the needed attention that day two be clearly that is what because day one obi until some started some TMP before flags any posters friends billboards are already jatum. So why do you go on a protest against Galamsey and go and burn something on the street? Say may a demonstration for whatever and then me Wall Street na ma kwatete billboards na ma tete posters na me di jatum na ma park me truck in the middle of the road I block all other citizens omukwa about their duty. And you want to understand why you have only 10-20 people on the street supporting you? Bisa won say identity be mu yom demonstration 2 weeks ago we had thousands of people supporting you. Now we had demonstration we had nipa 20 pe. Na nipa 20 no you want to cause chaos for the entire country? And in the name of democracy, until you may say me to be car, that's a me cottage 7 military hospital. Why should I not be able to access the hospital because you are demonstrating? Demonstrate and let me also go to the hospital. Who has stopped them from demonstrating? Why pan and stop you so demonstrating? But why are you blocking me? Why? I didn't see that we see me. Why didn't I watch you more car?
Obia on the right. Into what when you're right, I demonstrating the Mobi so you
actually me demonstrating. I made demonstrating. 2016 I called demonstration. Almost share so good so boy a friend say mponko dua boy any ade say you Ghana ni bia na baby ye na ade ye ho na ye na wogide obi na yakoy me boa woni woni pa 20 no 20 of you no mo so mo believe in bibi na mo call demonstration. Why should you inconvenience everybody? Why should you cause problems? Na bibi ayam yan say demonstration am ye no so muni police for agree on bibi na police for mounting roadblocks nti wo ba police for director na Mami ewie bakwa mehwe mami a oba wa bedu baby me videos no metum da wono mabo wa bedu baby a esiso ko nanim na mu gina nanim block ne se ye ma nko aboa sebe aboa ye ma nko next time ne ye demonstration ba dwena o ye demonstration da sebe nyansa wo mansan ke ne ba dwena na in any case demonstration a wo ye no krampo no e bi mpo na nyansa wo m a minyanka me join no ba suban bone ne akwan bone a mo fa so amoye e be den obi etumi agya na bakra so memedi mochi and the attention seeking antics. Now, me honestly, me bo Ghana police abaso. Because any year kase ya, obian kap Ghana police asemi, it is simply because of that high level of emotional intelligence.
But sir,
in the face of provocation.
Honorable sir, police forecast say you be calling say ya near soft, no man yet little bit harder. And pose potential danger. There be 2 days to elections. There be say no matching. Say yeah no matching. So much no. You can provoke them, you can insult them, you can burn vehicles, you can destroy properties, but emrano anybody. You see, mediator me supporting Ghana police a come first or comport or say. We have seen plenty. On can say and say some 2 or 3 months ago no we be police for China not the police as well. Almost say police for Boya So the police were trying to and you see for the first time go and check social media. A lot of people are for the first time seeing through these people.
because ene yo mo provoke ya police for ankasa am from nsan kom no Ghana for you say sa ko yesa be adwon kra me say ka ho kakra no because clearly see anybody work school edu echi
he's a lawyer
sa branch na ko school akudu echi lawyer mua etumi wura police operational vehicle mu ekoyiki na wo say na ship peacefully or dear meka or the police car ki edwane a clearly sabe I think there's something wrong with his mental state men can that out and you men friend diagro you be come that there's something wrong with that gentleman because why do you demonstrate na say me to MPP say you say demonstrate say you demonstration my friends on make kan
yeah
and I be forcing so make kan na say NDC for you demonstration who say me ko bi say you should media do some person me ko but why do you want to drag all of us into it? Why are you destroying properties? What has with demonstration now got to do with property now? What's saying?
National Youth Organizer Sikrom say Vormawo say party Noma. Now your position of the party now.
Yes. We support him 100%. 100%. Na say me say me wo me japa de bi ko down say na ma be boma de ho bai. You supported 100%. Absolutely 100%. And even as a follow up to their police for we in the party, I'm encouraging, say we should sue him because he's on video holding party property. And the party should see him to pay for it.
Me see as upon 107.3 Facebook Live, who bet me join in videos ni bi probably na untimi enhwe unimu koma yedi who bet me America and a Vormawo wo tuzano police for key and wa kotu no dimrika edeko. Then it's my honorable.
Inti media, to be very honest with you, I think that these are the real enemies of the state. My boyfriend Nankasa any. Nothing. I say you consent. She dan say me call Enuma Pepem. My grandfather was village we or Enuma Pepem say Fro Jabo. I used to river ejina iswa ye kosa edukofie ekonom. Ewo village wo. Ene yesa edukonno koku ase bare. Ayedi. And Nancy am quite occasion in Sweeney a year. Tete sem milka. In a high.
And then I'm a corner. I think Galamsey corner.
You see, Galamsey corner, it's because of a choir your first war. Ye deal with the Galamsey situation. And me, my view, which I have shared publicly, and say, Galamsey, it is every other social canker. Galamsey to say, my and our community now when you're cocaine addiction. And now when we addiction and now when deviant children krum sana Galamsey na kwakoye because Galamsey no bone illegal crime to say every other crime obetumi adwe ho. There's no difference between Galamsey and armed robber because Galamsey no also committed the same crime na armed robber near den commit no. Now the point here is this, so person will solve social canker wo de niema mienu ekabum who enforce emrano whilst at the same time we get the mindset reorientation because obi ho a wasoro no pay a wako pit mu a oye Galamsey onwe ho kranti ase emposa de no oye no e affect other communities o I know say they make want ase nti ne dia no say wasoro akotena e friend saying excavator mu na oditu anwea nti we need to reorient their minds as well and let them understand the negative impact that they no e wo on us and our survival going into the future. But the problem is this. Abayko na oko pamo Galamsey for FPT mu. Soja for kochi omo. Yede eja eto omo chamfan mu. Yede eja eto excavators mu. Ye bubi. Ye sizi ebi noma. Ye wo ye friend say community mining schemes. Yede water guards aba omo na mu so hwe. We yesa no man nyina ewia. Na unya the opposition party. And you see in all of these things ade bakwaya me ya for the entire week maka ni say maintain say media houses more kan ho asem say the biggest opposition party no ekọ mining pit ni be ye Galamsey no okọ Galamsey no odira ho no ne Galamsey fo ni no waka che say safo yi MPP amanyuko ye ne omo tata mo de sojafo ba ha tata mo yi omo nim say Galamsey no politics ene Ghana e kra beto Galamsey na mo de mamon kasa mon kama ko manto mo yem mon to abama John Dramani Mahama ene ne parliamentary candidate ogina ha na da mo beto abama John Mahama ebobo se wewi no sada no mo nyina mo nsambre hala mo meto
no mo aso aba abontia be kasa nsuo sei
samre no kasa asem no na Tony Obeng eye former Minerals Commission CEO omo say papa yo gyina we friend Tony Obin say moto abama MPP na John Mahama be yo mampani a sa papa ya na ebe sanso de na kwakọtena ho
na wasi agya mo wasi sinsu no
na ohye mo bo say moto abama no kwa Minerals Commission boss a obegya mo na mo aye mo adwuma me a me gyina he me ye mo parliamentary candidate mo ni say adwuma me ne mo ana ye nti ebaba ne say na moto abama me a ma be tata mo say mo ngya mo adwuma ye moto abenti MPP onua in the year 2020 elections
and when I come back say
said na nado dan ko ekufo adon tokwa odo esa otuye ewo fenese galamsey fo so nti ukọ mining areas na ye lusu ho nyina
enti hu aka mo
ehun kan ye
that means you ntimi fight galamsey
ehun kan ye but what it means is that sebe enye edu samde ya ye kwa abatu no na NDC fo eba be kire se na ye preachi won fi ashawo line embe preachi me won kwa ashawo line anado na de eche no pa o ma me preach me say wo no wo betra radio so ne TV so a na waka che Ghana fo nyina say MPP mpenifo na eye galamsey say galamsey wo firi ho a na wako galamsey site wo na wako she galamsey site fo no kutupa na ane bia ukọ ho no kọto MPP peni bi ho na waka kire mo say omuntu abantia ye na wo ba abemo ma ye galamsey na wase abetra radio so say MPP fo na eye galamsey. How do you win any social canker with such a divided front? Onia, how do you win any social canker with such a divided front? It is obisa me ade baako a ama ntokwa ye kutia galamsey aye dempa enam NDC fo so bantia. You ubetimi aka ne se na obesi aka ne bia de meka na enokre. De tie de meka na enokre ne se chame strategy baako aka eseso mampeni na nadan kokufare ne MPP yusu in the fight galamsey omu yusu ye.
But Miracle, so when you embrace our fight galamsey na NDC for propaganda in the mua, what stops you?
Say I'm robber say wo man mu. Hwe sorry do e wo man we mu. Na hwe kasa ya kaseti am robbery. Na hwe the risk against am robbery. Hwe police station do e wo man we mu. Na hwe police for do e wo man we mu. Am robbery jai. That's why I keep telling you that galamsey no a crime like any other crime you can think of. Until when you are fighting it, you must fight it from all angles. So while fighting it from all angles, that's how we lose one side of it, like we are experiencing with the NDC's a negative impact now. It becomes a fruitless effort. Because oko kwase chamfa na oche excavator na okope. Na wase ma me the man ye dangerous kwani say o man peni dada John Mahama. Oni ye kwa akensi abatu yemu. We bi na no gina fenese campaign platform akase ono obaye o man peni a omo a omakwa galamsey a ya chi omo. Amra ni omo di omo da prison obeje omo na omakofie. So be num cocaine. That's what people jai cocaine. First of all, emrane say unum cocaine e bone e crime boa. Nti emrane be chew. But say wo de emrane chi nipa no. Na wo de nipa no okosa abiem the next day. Obesi akonom because addiction.
Yes.
Na mom say wo chi nipa na wo ma ne kasa kire. Wo de ne go through a certain therapy. Na we ma na adwen sakira na fe okoba ka onye de onkokoye biem. But in a situation where wo chi nipa no wie na no kwahye dem a na obi foforo gya ne nche se ye menja kosonom enfie no wo de udum ya wo se we gya nom na wo de to abetia no me ma ho kwa na wa ye de obeye. You can never win against such a situation. Never. We cannot continue to pretend. Now the area and say sa woka galamsey ho asam se na make ni ya ade achi ya na yeso ye galamsey ya me fie kuapem late
o ka ho asam aye so kan
o nya kan ade achi yeso ye galamsey me fie late kuapem na me fie no ye ebo na pai mi so kete 7-8 years na me pai bo eton Late Methodist Primary School obi oni mi bi anim say ye na pai bo e disi Late Methodist Primary School gold I friend gold raw gold me fa me ni hu bi pen enso sebe wadaro mama dwen ye adwuma eti se me hu ade na e a metu say ade na e e bi nso a metu say e bi nti obi ntumi force me nche me de amenka me say there is no way wo bebe Germany ma ka chem say you are fighting against galamsey without me having evidence say you are condemning the former president and the NDC and what they are doing in the galamsey pit. If not for anything, in the last 20 years omampeni bi eniwa we show commitment to the fight against galamsey ese na nan danko ekufado die mpa na aka ese na nan do ya onye wahye excavators or the soldier for mining pit akoche say galamseyers or the amako court. He's prosecuted more galamseyers than any government has done in recent times. Was setting up community mining schemes to move these young people from the pit so they can go into safe and appropriate mining. na no ka say you be prefer the National Alternative Livelihood Program. I don't know. Ministry for Lands and Natural Resources develop seedlings, oil palm seedlings, coconut seedlings, and so many others. No more than my young people say, Munja galamse no, na munduya we, na eswa ba, munya muejuma, munya musika yede. Endi. Enti, die adia ba ko ben na kana na danko kufado into me here. What it means is that what we have to do now is to sit back, analyze the situation, and ask ourselves, say, with all these things that are not done for they putting in place, a ban is saying, and I still like that's what this difficulty and this challenge. Then clearly it points to one thing. It points to the fact that in the fight against this crime, you have the biggest political party as we speak in the mining areas encouraging the people to mine. Then it comes to mind, say,
few days to elections.
We have the leader of the biggest opposition party encouraging these galamsees and telling them, say, Monko so yam galamsey, ye chemwa, me ba, me yimu frimu, na me de maba, na me de mutu sa eden amamo. Na obi sense ade ti na oka so se mpanimfo ne campaigns na e wo ho no ye gya omo e na nketenkete ne ye chi omo na be sense aba. Se ene dwumre yi, am robbers nsia, ekoye robbery, e wo bi fie. Na se ye chi sa am robbers nsia no emu nan a, ye bi so mo se mo han na ye pani. Na so oka se ye pani ne kwa, o se na ma minja mo na monko, na menko chese mo pani no. What kind of leader is the former president? And so, if I haven't heard you, say maintain say who condemn the former president, and then the kasa fin and the kasa basa basa, and then the leaders no more mining pit, no more encouraging galamsey, so more galamsey now. Men catch themselves so stopping galamsey. What it means is that you are pursuing a political agenda, knowing very well, say, and another uncle father should ban small scale mining. Yem banning small scale mining, near banning small scale mining now. When you say 2018, you're banning small scale mining. You're banning small scale mining for almost a year and a half.
Basuna.
When you say half in one of the highest production in gold, because any free. Now when the catch was almost yet, a friend is saying galamsey, almost small scale miners. Okay, I'm saying most small scale licenses do mama. If you want to stop an illegality, you license people to do the appropriate mining.
But yeah, supervision and monitoring cost.
Obia or your small scale mining bia regulations that's all the eduma. And so you have the supervision and monitoring happening. But like I said, why in a year there a yakete? Why in the dibone wabra police in the air no? It's clearly no a sumasi jano day omudi. And as we beat them, as we seize their machines, as we burn the machines, it is not enough. We need to continue the social mindset, the social reorientation, and the mindset readjustment. But the way na say omwa esese no mchichiro man no e hye omokutu pa e be de na we omotumi adan etie no mogyan ase obi ye weed na so onjai weed na mama sija na dada akoto weed acheche ama no mama sija na dada akoto weed no acheche ama no ujiri so betumi jai. And nobody is talking about this. What the Bible say, hey, jai ndisi for some kind of mu na wo se me nko ade na na me chiro ne mani bia entumi ma me nko a wo se ma me nka. Why shouldn't I say it? You have civil society quiet. You have the media quiet. You have religious bodies quiet. Everybody is quiet. Omo dey understand another way. Shame oman penny bakwa in the last 20 years. What kun galamsey ese na nadan kwekufado. Oman penny on oppressor yensan to obama oman penny dada. Na breso e na galamsey ye hu na ye tu nso me chance you so ya we. Oman penny roll sit up and penny kufado na galamsey hu. But sa galamsey no omo ko anglo gold. Any go field for site omo ko sisa omo anwe ni bi omo be wash ni enye galamsey wonso
na champagne
2010 and 2011 and na champagne any nsuo mu galamsey shase e wo man we mu omampeni John Dramani Mahama entumi ankon sa ntokoi to the extent say the minister honorable Mahama Yariga ebe kache ye nyina say ebe ya anka galamsey fight no they should give up na ohwe se ne galamsey ekona akwakoye na eye so deep to the extent that there is no way they can fight it. Nemum anka betumi anka they should regulate illegal mining. Regulate illegal mining. When were they illegal, they regulated that. But that is what they said. That is how bad it was under their government. And let me blow your mind. Oman Penin and Danko Kufado. The inaugural speech, that was when he spoke about the fight against galamsey and how he was going to commit himself to fight the galamsey canker. Intanya bia se galamsey na sha se na Danko Kufado ambreswa adenti and all kasa the first time I yes when you know ka galamsey asem it tells you that before we came to office, this bad practice was there. And what the Nana Akufo-Addo has been doing all this while is to put in place all the mechanisms he can to fight this canker. If still we are having challenges and difficulties in fighting it, what you do is to come together as a people and say, upon all these things we have done, a kwan be na be faso and a kwan foforo be na wo ho a e se etumi faso na etumi stop this canker. Na wan ye ne sa na sa wo de wotu ani esi nipa ba akoso e na tem bia na wo boni panichi tem bia na wo boni panichi wo boni panichi no so no na wo akure ya nso wo galamsey site a wo ka che galamsey for so mo ye galamsey wo ye nipa boni wo ye man boy for
flip flopping. But as you feel what I can, Asase 107.3, Asase 98.5, I will Kumasi in Ashanti region, Asase 99.7 were Tamale in the northern region, Asase 100.3 were Cape Coast in the central region. Facebook Live, Asase 107.3. WhatsApp line, are you ready? We're doing Robert Media, Baby Brenafe, Yakinkai, Ede, Amal. Someone on up here, yeah, Penina Wapping, our Bambumu, and also and anybody in common affair, Yashe. Few days to elections and a spontaneous demonstration at Air Koso. So then you bet me, a pursuit danger be an threat to be an position of Ghana Police Service at saying you bet home como and enumerate our Asasipa 107.3 at Umpine Jumadi. So WhatsApp line on A 059 417 777 me patro 059 415 7777 wait to join in 059 415 7777 afekra na grono be so kese Dennis Miracles Aboagye wo ha former MC wo ha ye ne tin komo na fe ya hwe ye wura MPP policies num but quickly my main start ya galamsey ho komo ide my main start den na Dr. Mahmoud Baumia nyame ya dumo a Ghana former ni to me mandate is one lead Ghana for wo be na fe the fight against galamsey ya pemwa ye mie no ye timesi ano kwan then
Dr. Mahmoud Baumia samo Kenya ne say watsena se na wato ne bo ase na wahwe all the strategies and the systems that you use in the fight against galamsey every 2017 bepemune and clearly no he's realized say you try no bebre e bi succeed here e bi an succeed nti wafa de succeed here na de an succeed nso wahwe kwan foforo betumi de afa so na de ba ko foforo sonko a o se o de ba ne se we hu say ranting in mabe o mo sorry a o mo do mo ni man mining te se me fi mountains in fact you so no de enima na e bo pai ye pon school aye ko pai bo ye pai bo mo si dan no nti wu ya na du bebi a na wakɔhye ne pam na etu aka sada na edi mo nti eno na enim ukɔso ba fam uka kyerɛ latani akɔla sa
ene wabre
uka kyerɛ latani akɔla sa ambre ne se mane ko pai bo onko opa mane wiase musike nyina ɛhɔ because ɛhɔ kwa na ye hye di nkomo ɛhɔ na ye hye di agro in fact edu bebi no ye pai bo na competition man. So you see, for these mining areas, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia's view, they say that's what they know. Inti yempe kwen be faso muwa, yebe mo metumi aye omade omo pay, which is the mining, no, but in a more appropriate and safe way. But just what you say. Ade bako a ema omo kom mining wonsuo mu ne say rock mining no, ene asase na kasa so mining no, eya na ne ye edin. And essentially a capital intensive. So, inti okonso ni mu dia otu wo no awoshe ne wenya kakra no de abefie. So let's put in place mechanism that would ensure that we will redirect all these energies and talent of these young people from the riverside. Ne de omako bebiam gold na kasa wono no makwa mine. So number 1, o say obeji geo data na e kire say aha gold wa aha bi ni ha aha bi wa ha e wo community no obeji no de amamo. Na wo akasa wo hwe na say aha na gold wo na asase no say na nanom de say yebusa peni bi de obetumi nya access to it na wakakosere ukosere wi a enka ne no ananei say wunya asase na gold wo mu na unni sika odi betu
okay
enti na omudwane ko nso mu ko hohoro nso de no ana say omo wo connections no so be kwa bridge na wakope Chinese partner
not the number
and American partner not the number or the number Chinese partner give 90% shares no amagana ni be 10% enti ye kwa gold no yetu no kwa yen shedan ye den enya so mfaso sa. So this is what Dr. Mahmoud Bamia is saying. Mama data. Macho be a gold no. Inti nei unko tutu fem basa. En scavenge say wo be a gold wo. Uni be wo. Number 2, unya wi a Minerals Commission for Monfa mo offices in Nina district near to go in Ghana ha, you 261 district. Number of districts are mining activities cost just about 70 BB. Now Monko setting up offices, it's about 74 or so. Offices are more set no. Momeyan sacra licensing regime no mukakra.
Okay.
Na yema ne a bit more convenient. Say na be ya Ghana for na omo mo concession nsa say na omo amonya no. Omo tumi nya omo license no my dey omo mining. You see obika omo say na license na wo ho be 50 BP MPP ba mine 1,000. What is wrong in making sure that all drivers are we training omo tumi drive car here? Isn't it proper to license people to do appropriate mining than to leave them to do it anyhow?
Because nipa no jano kra obeko.
Or yeda. It's what license in more normally appropriate mining. That is the way to go. So the first strategy in dealing with Galamsey is to make sure that the licensing regime is made a bit more convenient. So the beya Ghana for no more monsas a bit wide than be. Number 3, into your child baby gold in the war. Yama license and easy amount. Number 3, only secure the bit too good in it. Dr. Mahmoud Bami say, or be establishing the Minerals Development Bank. The Minerals Development Bank by and say, when your concession away, what me establish it from the data and say gold wahano. We hear ska out the bit too. Into bank no, they say na ADB ebu eku afford. Mineral Development Bank will be provided financing
for miners no.
For the Ghanaian concession owner.
Okay.
Now what they are mining now to gold no. Now you say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is using this to also fix another issue. Once Ghana you see the issues against dollar and who say me baby. With the car promises say moving forward in 2025 we are going to run a gold backed CD system. Washa say kakra.
Okasa no patch say.
And then me no can say Bank of Ghana build the gold reserve. So unim on my bia omutumi mineral resource bit say gold. E de bo omusika no ho ban anase omo de ta omusika nechi no. Oman sika emre bia na mudu. British pound. Adia bakuta British pound for almost all the years you can recall. It has remained one of the strongest currencies. Because UK one of the largest reserves in gold. That's just what I say. So they back their currency with the gold reserve now, and I say gold no more, and that always keeps our currency strong. And that's what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wants us to do moving forward, to ensure say we build enough reserves to back the currency and strengthen it. And one of the ways is going to do that, and say watch out, one more data, one more Aboagye license, one more sika de betu gold utu wia na aban no e de CD ato gold na den
every ho
na ye de abo ye sika no ban ene ye hear almost about $400 million as abosumi bia yetumi ato crude abomai we mu etumi nya fuo ye wo gold a unkope dollar 400 million na dollar na bo ahode akosoro wo di gold ni bia be kwama no ne na de apese de kwakoto de akwede wo de akoto na de aba omai we mu ebiem o say ye technical vocational education training na ye no areas na mining wo no in their curricula curricula
abunu fon kasa de no
ade no musua subjects no
syllabus
no yeah easier syllabus no or the appropriate and safe mining eba curriculum.
Okay.
Send your beya and branch your more technical vocation you bet you require first why mining tools mechanisms in a safe and appropriate way. Into your branch here baba and utu galamsia or technical vocation education training obey now you require first why safe and appropriate mining. Abaya child baby a friend is a gold no war. Abaya the sika aba utumi de boa na wunya concession na utumi de ye. Abaya asanso my licensing regime why then I am re. And this is one of the ways that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia believe he say introduce here anya hwe krampo no ebema omo konsuo ni mu no omo be free wo because onim say obe mine e wo land ne so ana the appropriate way aban beta nechi na ban ama ne ho akade no to be the den o de aye mine no. So that is a clear path strategy towards reducing this galamsey situation. Ask our opponents and the strategy then. And then yet we open for phone. Now, former President Mahama say, what is your opinion on this galamsey matter? On to me, Kasa. You know why? Because I don't know. The opinion they say we should allow them to mine in an illegal way. But on person beka. Into Okohwa no catch them. Or bad TV Sony radio so now beka and say when people for the galamsey. And that is why he's unable to speak about it. And that's why he's unable to, as we speak, tell us clearly what his strategy is in dealing with the galamsey menace. But Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has a strategy. And that strategy is what I've outlined to you. In addition to ensuring that we are enforcing the law, in addition to ensuring that we are banning illegal equipment on our river bodies and chasing them away, this is how Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia intends to ensure say wapamu we feel so so wie no on kan kotra fie na mo obenya bibi so asa ayeden aye na de kro na nka wo ye wo nsuo no so no wotumi aye wasase so e wo kwampa so.
Right, honorable member say a few messages yankin kana yemra sesia manuel dakon e wo nima wo say NDC for na territory ma sa democratic hub for no or mo misbehave e wo Ghana. One day when you say the former president John Dramani Mahama and the NDC for na bo mo pa mo di sa nsem no omo ye a enkosi aga na dia wode aba no was say ye from Evandi ningo pram and was say bono hene ye da was mo bo adwuma pa won miracles mo bo adwuma mama Ghana 14 no ma say ye na ne ante no ma bia so na to bia na den ma ye nse ye beti bibia say but honorable miracles amamfo hu the air course it is possible was say inshallah Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ebedim kunim come December 7 election 2024 ono so ne dia wode aba no me patro Facebook live wadwin tro betimi dia ba ye beje bre na fe ya kinkano sane ya wode bre na ya mfa bi nka ho ye nyi bi mfrimu ye be ni se tro kronkron na fe ye de amao Lawson ahinkan Kofi Asante ne dia wode ba no se fast nko a enye toboi ene ezu nko a wose we ye fast nko a nye toboi politics and miracles wo ye Asante Clinton ne dia wode aba no se great communicator. God bless you. Ni aye akoto was wow. Hamdan Abubakar was a director. Nyamisha was Nyaminyo Kese Miracles. Was a Berima Ofori was a Ubajuma Miracles Nyaminyo Kese. Atemdi maha me pacho uba wodi na wodi aba. Joseph Ohene was here Tumpan FM. Asasepa 107.3. Yeah, Tumpan is the program them no and a year Tumpan radio station here Sasepa 107.3. Also Nadia wade abanono Joseph Ohine Day also Nadia wade abani was a enya Malik mo politics no mo yen basabasa didi atem kan se hunu kira mpanyimfo eni bi na miracles so ye miracles ka fat wade no kra ne to ma Ghana fo hu de MPP aban wona ani so a pese wo ye e de ma Ghana fo Emmanuel Mensa was a oh Debbie, we are attempted the mean to me and come but would the attempt I will not waste my time. Say making kind attempt and enumerate. Asante Wahene was a proper fact was a fast no and a would go no. Abdul Razak Nedio Diabano was so we a smart and creative director. Dennis Miracles Aboagye was a God bless you. Was MPP for you now you call my Toma ewo tamale omo fen life ewo tamale e ba to tamale ne mpatamua e asase 99.7 FM so e na wote yenka asase 98.5 ewo Kumasi in the Ashanti region asase 100.3 wo Cape Coast in the Central region. Facebook live e asase pa 107.3 messages no obetimi amana ba ya beje brand na fe ya kenkan e de amao wase mo ani adwuma where supposed to NDC for no or mu ye nipa bomfo pa sa man ni ye nim sa MPP betra konwa so na ba yo na minim da sa mampanyi da John Dramani Mahama and the China for ba kurum ha mining aye pinsom ono so na dia wode aba ene anwumri eno no was say from Emmanuel Nto was say communicator biye no ana no atese wo was nyame ehira keep on doing the good work. Nadia Wadiaban Christopher Abbey was say and these guys are too desperate. Was say and this for now why too desperate. Are they as a petumi no yardos one day then a mohu and I yam na mu mediskanko yan trase and for 2 no emamo. Emmanuel Tokro ya was say MPP show commitment. Say a bagalam say ya umbetuase but beside the former president John Dramani Mahama say wo ba ye den otimi ye fagalam say ho na dia wode aba eno no medical catcher say atim didie ba mentimi kan Prince Nuruddin na dia wode aba no say director good work was salute nyame enshira no onyo kese Emmanuel Ntokro ya top submission by Dennis Miracles na dia wode aba no wode ba ma men kan ni twima say na be ya ye koto aba nya brofesem amanfo beti ase no mahu adwuma aban no aye ane aban bi obetra kunwa so adwuma wo ye policies aban no wo person de to apono so amanfo timi eti ase ba miracles ade ba ko a Ghana for omuka and always bia no Ghana for ka say ahokyeraba e ba to sa wo ye objective and enwumre ya ahokyere no wo ho eden na de ye kosa ahokyere num eden na aban no aye se na bi betime free sa ahokyere num ba wo say GDP I expanded by 6.7%. Noma etiba for my indicators ni show we are. Among for expectation me kotadia. Yes, you normal ye dia me kotadia normal bo enyefo. Still, baby a normal jina and the jina. Hini a free.
Yeah, no crap on say. Na mo I ton ebia 35 cedis per bag. And you kota and you 35 cedis. Cement bag. I na ton ebia 35 cedis and 30 cedis. And you kota million be 70, 80, 85 cedis. And you from ekosho. Nti the fact is that niema ebo akosho. And say ade ba ko ho man aban we ya mani so I am bia me ka say one of the things say Ghana ni bia yi tumi etwe adwen koso ne say aban we aban ba ko why very sincere with the people of Ghana when it comes to the issues of our economy. Enka no say o how ba say dey say be say so ano e be dem pasa obetisa aban eji atum say o how mpaba. But this government, from the president to the vice president to the last person you can find or think about in government, Obiagye to say we've had the new challenges since 2020 and especially if 2022 bepem 2024. Obiagye no ho change. Obiagye no ho change. But the point is that a dear na aban ya fa so how no. Between the year 2017 and 2020, in 2019 December remains one of the best Decembers and Christmas on my way in so many years.
Why?
Because everybody acknowledge the no krumo ede. You be fab on my way in 2017. Now you way to join him. Nkola ewie GHS so mu school over 100,000. Afibia no mu katire fi omu ntumi nko school. Esane say aban entumi nyeska odbetua amahia forma say hia forma na etumi akobi esane se aban enniska odbesi school dan dodo ma san kola na nya bi atenem esane se aban enniska obetumi de ato desk aman kola etumi atenem oman we mu ye be faye na kanea ay gina so ye na ye de ye adwuma yi entumi nyina so e man krankra entumi mfa nya omo adwuma enti in this country at some point na media houses to say mudi about 10 na mapon and so can media houses then come here 24 hours but mo pon because mo adwuma mo ye nyina mo running on plant into one hen yam beto for the whole night in this country na aban ye ba aban mu no 2016 aban efa teacher for nurse for and a public servant omo ye adwuma 1 year aban tuo moka aban ka so betuo moka o say ye niska into even know why ye adwuma 12 months no you bet you are 3 months. And my buy shall the policy by our fair policy, no 3 months pay policy. In this country, on my way, a place freeze unemployment for almost 3 years. In fact, teacher for the next for credit in the year 2013, 14, 15, 16, a buy fat teacher for the next for. A do baby no on my way was so broke to the point a here for ma. Sika omo de court teacher and nursing training aye de mom allowances no aban gifri omunsem e mo mampani mahama ya wa ba o se yesanso to abamani e kai se eye sa allowance ne kwa no be restore amahia form betumi nya bia ko school dia anka yento abentia medical association doctor for e ka kire aban se yesre o mani wa edin nti kebe ya aka boa ye ne yentumi nya kakra.
But sir, allowance no sorry, honorable. On my reason said, send a bay enrollment drive no bit to me a costro because I want my allowance now for the pamoa. That means I buy a bocamo and the young allowance in inferior send a bay e between enroll ni padudo and the teacher training colleges. Into the difference between omoni and say we free wa ube enrolling padudo, but ube enrolling escafon kwama. Here for mana or mom rely on allowance.
Umunya access. Who you free one now? Usi adano 1,000 kra ehia for man be katre fie na anya bi o man ya chichire mesika for ngwana, and that's where the biggest problem was. And that is why eni oko teacher training college na say ana nursing college na say ni allowance mba ya no okem because and one or rely on to survive a wood school sa man temo a efie nye into one how abakoka akoyeden akotre fie. So this country was in a very difficult situation. This was a former president. Or between inflation 8%. Ofi abemuno, not inflation equal 15%. There is not a single economic indicator under former President Mahama Beto in 2013 or improve, you know. Each of the economic indicators of former President Mahama Beto ye, from GDP to international reserve to gross reserve to inflation to bibi abeto ye biya ni nyina ekosro e biya no to be the bafem. But the difference between the MPP government and the NDC government, they say, yeah, no, so how be ba na se ye pese ye so ano a ye tumi ne oman ni nyina ka bom etena ka se ebusuafo eneyi ye ne China for ne Malaysia for ne Turkey for ne didwa ba ye hwede ye koso China ne Turkey ne Malaysia yi a aba be affect your economy no nti ama your economy no ho nsem ayeden atoche makakra ba munya botre ye ne mu nyina ka bom ne yesiesie no na emre papa na ayeden eba covid emre so your how about my way mama peni ku for the catch o say baby ayedu no esese me take a decision as mama peni as to whether mema ye de ahodi nyina bo enkwa ene me manfo ho ban anase meka say obewu ewu na me protect the economy no, and he took a decision to protect lives ahead of the economy. And he said say nipa nkwa de ehwe a me nim ekwa mefa so amesan so de ababiem nemom say ye economy say tete pansam say den kra ye nim ekwa befa so ye betumi say the economy na den aba back to that enunti na nei in the past 4 months fuel prices ba na den eba fam enunti na nei friend is saying inflation ekoya kodu 54%. And inflation about a little over 20%. Tell me in the history of this country, tell me when we say abain bi wo more or wa abain more, inflation under his government akosro, not the same abain no. Etuma ye ho adwuma manaba fam. No correct. Nobody in this government has denied say in the past 2-3 years, especially from 2022, no cost of living go high. Obi agitum, but the other thing obi abegiatum so say. For the first time in our lives, as we experience now, no, we have seen a government, economy, no, a say yejitum, but me no kasi attending around that yehu ehun sunsuansua yehu improvement in kakra den.
I don't know behind this because the economy now must say what they share COVID-19 no ye benefited from COVID-19 ye the levy by as now that's why ye Ghana for ye can say economy by extension here patches saying
you see NDC for of course a dishonesty mama explain you can say COVID as economy it's not just about revenue unyai now the revenue nyai no say revenue am fan to bank okay say 2020 na yam planning yes ye be fa nurse for ne health professionals for be by in that year ye double the number of health professionals ye find in that year alone to fight COVID and on ye sika be in the shop and yes sika corona we see nyai na the shop okay say in 2020 the amount of expenditure me na me MC edu baby no na me municipality obinya COVID o say edu baby na COVID no infections na ba ma yenya hospital beds kra mom
yes
nti wa yesa we asymptomatic no na yesa ye self isolation okay obia nya self isolation aban etoduane ma na no pa wi na nwumre sika be ne ye obekaya 2020 during the COVID period government had to expand infrastructure at a pace now buying crime budget and some planning so the bay or BSA expansion sika be ye the number of isolation centers are buying see within a short period of time sika be na buy the edu baby crampo no na wo PPEs and as a protection GS a will be here crampo no aban to na ye cheche wo street mu sika be na buy e de ye obi fi abrocheba no be do airport na ye test na ye so symptoms na ba de na koda hotel na ban ahwe no e wo hotel a kopem ta ne ho beto no sika ben na ban de ye enti so bi ka che say aban nya aso mfaso a clearly no nipa no is not recognizing what government did to ensure that Ghana becomes one of the shining stars when it comes to the fight against COVID. But the friend on chain, and I'm going to show you the real effect of COVID on our economy.
Okay,
wouldn't say any China, any a lot of countries they do that. Close to about 80% on Yemen use or my in fact be share studio ha. But we can say Yemen wa ha no. Emu be 90% je krefia man on it. Great. Now, wouldn't say China until just about 6 months ago, they have shut down since 2020, closed up to the point that the production in China, edu baby no more producing even less than half of what they can produce. So you are aware. Emma containers are not ebia. You defeat China bag and ha $1,000. and $1,300 no a drew baby no now benya container baako de nyame gu ma ohia be $13,000 so nim sa mamika semicho once China shut it down and China started selling this headphone enka na nkomo ton no $20 esa ne say oye o produce at half capacity nti ehun be na meboa ehun be den ade no so ehun nya ye den
demand be high
demand be ko high demand ko high price
be shoot up
nti ade na nkan no ko fa no $20 if China now they are back Ghana now be turn to $25 no ene no esa ne say China for production o market nti uko a uko turn $50. It means that na ka turn we Ghana ha $30 how dey $5 per untumi turn $30 po ebiem won first wo $5 no ebie no an da so but esa ne say wo turn $50 ene nti wo the back Ghana wo be turn $55. So you see COVID no and yes sika da wunya wo Ghana hankwa na be affect our economy no nemum prices ne kosro simply because of what is happening in China. Turkey in the year 2022 Turkey inflation edu baby ekoya kopem 80%.
Wow.
What it means is that akonye ya me very sure say yetofi Turkey ba o my way mu no ebi anka akoto $100 na the bag Ghana ba beton $110 no in the year 2022 no ukọ Turkey na say wakasa okoto the same akonya o beton $180. It means that o the bag Ghana one fa hwe anka ho kra still akonya na de fit Turkey aba no ne bo be den e. You know why? Because Turkey they rely hugely on neighboring countries and the partner countries for raw material inputs. Rice yedi ye crowd do na fi Brazil and Vietnam. Russia Ukraine for code dokape and our international community and ban eto Russia for. Yeah. Russia for the providing nitrate and a lot of the component the fertilizer. Russia for the this fertilizers in nitrate in may Emma take Brazil and Vietnam. In Brazil for young Russia Ukraine war ewo ho. But esa ne say baby omunyo nitrate ene omunyo mo de fertilizer no ye de ban atoso wo Russia nti omunya nitrate ndo do ye den omuhia. What it means is that rice production no either say ebe cut and now said the production ebe ko higher than it was earlier. Inti Ghana ye nya problem bia you but emona ye craft Brazil na kenka ye cra no $50 no obe ko Brazil no na $120. It to the ball my woman ni bo be kosro. That is how COVID Russia Ukraine has impacted our economy. Now so bika wechewa where is the lie? Now who simplify now can say mwenye sika dodoa na minye sika dodoa memfa ne say aban kra jeje eto e na aban nya eto dodoa. Does that eradicate the cost of buying rice that has gone up in Brazil? Does that take away the high cost of buying chewe from Turkey? So long as Turkey inflation call 80% in Nkwadie, ukoto wade if you take it back to Ghana, you are bringing that inflation into the country. But you see, evidence you know all over the place to show say, and ye Ghana nkwa and ye suffer as economic crisis. Unim say UK, somewhere 2022 within 6 months, no master prime ministers bear 3 times. You remember?
Yeah.
Within 6 months, almost our prime ministers bear 3 times.
No more my thing.
Bisa wo hu say ban send a UK of all countries, ASR. America, they experience a 40-year high inflation. 40 years in inflation omu hu bi da. America for hu bi. UK for ehu inflation omu hu bi da in 40 years. Germany, edu baby no, that flour esam any oil la omu bedi na short omu nye bi. UK, as we speak, are still going through labor crisis. Every country in the world ehu onu an share of economic crisis. And every country across the world is working to bring itself back out of this economic crisis. And then the America for elections in November. Next year debate and you clearly realize that 90% of their debate is hinged on all the things that we are struggling with. Economy, jobs, businesses, struggles are true in terms of housing and all of that. And you hear Trump, you hear Kamala Harris, everybody say COVID. Now, even if superpower countries, such as America, suffer from COVID, how much more countries like Ghana, where we rely heavily on our partner countries? The good news is that you are buying in the midst of crisis. Onto Nisanko Yunonka say, Mintio Bia. Onto Nisanko Yunonka say, Me you join Funu, Damobe Biamunye. We have a government that says we acknowledge there is a challenge. Ye jitum say your difficulties. Ye jitum so hania bebresaba. Nemom. Munya jidie wo yemu na yɛn mu nkambom na yɛn fa nsiesie nneɛma na yɛgye di sɛ ɛnkyɛ bia ɛnipa bɛyɛ den ɛbɛpie. And whilst government is at it, tie ni yie o, whilst government is at it, aban ɛngya yɛ hɔ esapan. Ɛnɛ medical doctor, nurse na ketua na ɔgye in 2016 no aban ato mu bɛyɛ ɛhombɔho mmiɛnsa. Nti aban gyitum sɛ nneɛma boa yɛ den.
Vis-a-vis nneɛma boa so na si kɔ so.
Of course, I'll give a quick example. I think about 2-3 weeks ago I shared some data. Cocoa farmer. Cocoa farmer sika na NDC for the man during in 2016 450 Ghana cedis per bag of cocoa and then man 3,000 cedis per bag. Now sa cocoa farmer no in 2016 okodwa so say okoto emo 5 kg bag no okoto obeto be 10 pe. And then the same cocoa farmer no ko edwa so say okoto emo a unima emo do obeto emo no bag no be baako be 22. Enti bibisa a question no. Emo no bo akosoro. But between 2016 na emo no bo ewo fam. Any 2024 emo no bo akosoro no. The na wugidi say cocoa farmer no oye more interested in. And I say to me bo no to me todo bag of cement. Cocoa farmer in 2016 so edwaso so okoto bag of cement. Even though na one bag of cement 30 cedis no. Ni sika aban de man no. Otumi to bag of cement mako 15. 15. Enei cement bo kosoro mijutum but cocoa farmer koso okoto cement a saa sika na aban de amane so onje for the cocoa bag baako no e to cocoa bag cement baako mako 33. Enti mi say question no say obetumi ato cement bag 33 ene say obeto cement bag mako 15 de na ope
33 no.
Enti say obisa okọ na say cocoa farmer catch us obeto aba ma MPP a sebe membu ni so onim nyansa wo but the okache one say mejitum say cement bag bo kosoro but me hwe sika aban de ama me na metumi to dodo ene esen se ne na ne bo wo fam ana wo de ma me no and he prefers to be able to buy more than less. And here no pe there are several of them that I can list for you to see and I can go through it with you quickly. Cocoa farmer okase okoto e friend is saying carton of milk in 2016 and you oto 7 cartons and that same cocoa farmer sika aban de ma na to carton of milk mako 15. Cocoa farmer kase okoto packet of roofing sheets in 2016 na otumito in fact I no cramp no otumito one packet 2016 scare the man no otumito one packet this was sanso ko bobesia e wo bono hene wo e de ka ne sika ho as otumenya packet baako e de abone dan so enei sika aban de ma cocoa farmer no etumito friend say roofing sheet packet baako mako 3 miensa enka no na ntumi nto baako mpo enti cocoa farmer no so wo kone ho na so ka cho so beto aba ma MPP a membu ni so onim nyansa ho ohwe dia ne sika no etumi ye ene no compared to dia na etumi ye nano no and these are facts bono hine dollar ekosoro so bisa dollar ekosoro mwa ekosoro kra since na 2016 bene sika aban de makoko farmer no so okasa osesa into dollars a cocoa farmer nya $187 en kanena na dollar wo fem no na aban to cocoa bag baako afi cocoa farmer ho no expo osesa ne sika na into dollar onya $113. What it means is that today, even though the prices of goods are no, the cocoa farmer is better off and is able to buy more than he was able to buy in 2016. It is a war. Bono hine. And we cocoa farmer. And a nipa mienu wa abegina wenim. Ba ko say, je the amede ma no, ubetumi de ato cement bag mako 33. Ba ko say the amede ma no, ubetumi de ato bag mako if anything 13. The ain't nka odo 7.3. And that is why I keep saying that even though government acknowledges say niema boa koso niema boa yede no aban putting in place mechanisms whilst a year pursue strategies e be ma niema boa yede aba fam no ye disikanso manipa ahye ne bottom na tumi ma na to niema na oto na nka no oto no tumi ato even more and it's aban in spite of all the difficulties government still manages to find money to take our children through secondary education for free. Do you know how much it will cost you to have your child go to 3 years of senior high school education? Sasikano, say you are buying a far home ya and you have to go and look for that money to pay for your child.
But almost more prepare more too much.
Oh dear.
Nan can say progressive in kakra krani eko. The fees in high school.
And you start here, what is Obiako school now when we?
107.3.
Yeah, prepare ya hono. What is Obiako school now when we? Mami nipa ba ko secondary school out here so ko see MP4 prepare mo nti wenti mi anko. Clearly there's a big difference between the MPP vision and the NDC vision. MPP vision is one that is clearly cut out to provide support for the poor.
Okay.
NDC vision is one that gives opportunities to only the privileged few. And that is why you buy in the same year 2017, yes, no. Every Ghanaian child that will do school going age, I saw secondary school and who in yaso be katrefi, I saw no school. Now say I can say any progressive, why bad enter fee and why bad in school? Why bad in enter fee?
When in the can corner, why in train fee? Yeah.
And that is why even though I shall say in a classroom, say on better them cry anyone, ye chomu yes a cock. Oma kwaya na unia so eden akọ ene nkole nkomwie 80% of schools are no more double track. Yes, here in 2017 are no longer doing double track. That is vision. Today, the performance of San Koleya is better than the performance of the senior high school education we've seen in the last 10 to 12 years. And that is the difference between a visionary leader and a leader that's very myopic. And we have no regret, we have no shame in spending the Ghanaian money on the Ghanaian child. And that's something that we'll continue to do. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is promising the free SHS Plus.
And when I come about sustainability of the free senior high school, which is very important because a policy as any gear towards Uhiani, send a bay Uhiani no subet in the bar Ako school. But how do we sustain it?
That's it, sustain it. MPP Yaka Bium say if the last amount of money in this country near the bay free SHS, because there is nothing that is bigger than education. And then could be that a mafia would say Cantonment Laboni, almost per house of Promunia. Because we'll be at the medical school. Why should we have a country here? Some children grow up or get to a point where they have no hope. Why? Why should we get to a country where obedient ya won no na or they are 23 say on their own to be nkobi? Why? Baby ya won nti here onye wie GHS a yenya the powder go nti so BC a friend is saying center ho no be do fie pe na ma me say agosia we dey me fa nkoma sister bada na sa say obesu at the palm kwame me fa nkoma kofi mensa na sa say we carpenter. And onua, if you understand how desperate these young children are in their zeal so make school and can ka send free senior school nka say ye pray ho so what kwotene school dey mu ama ya baba pamo school fees one brown na fofo nyina at classroom and can ka send free SHS ya pray ho me dem hu bi I experienced it. There is nothing that is more demeaning. There is nothing that kills the spirit of a young child. There is nothing that destroys the confidence of a young child than say, what the classroom now with exams. Now we share window, my say beza bana.
Wow.
Now beza be drag classroom. Now we crowd pen. Now we say beza ba. Now we near type.
Yeah, promise school fees paying.
Baby.
Oh.
Baby.
Wow.
We go kwapman school. Obi on me school be aware. Now do kwapman school nuka de ya kra ne say. Yen nyina exams no wo assembly hall. You go bebre na ote wa wo exams ni na no na wo hwe gate
because beza beba
na bede na otu exams no na bi wa enu to ko trase a wo trase na wo hwe opentem se na be ya ba na ebe pamo a e bi ebe pamo no na bi a session B no wetima be 3-4 questions. And I remember very well say me ko exams wala ye nyama me question na me ko session B first because me to be here na me tro kakra e ho ne de so to be tro kakra na mark o ye ba ko down your marks na so when to be session here no kra o fa ne sa na ma fa pen na metro na me guso metro na beza abegina stage so the following student should meet me outside na wabo Dennis Aboagye.
Wow.
Na dey yakra say me number because me from di Aboagye nti dey bia index number no me 002 me 003 etitem bia me ti anope na abetwe me na dey mepie. There is nothing in this world that destroys the confidence of a child than that. Why? Adentina me akola me pese me so menyi ye bi obi akola me so me wani swade hu ese me future dreams e cut short simply because me busuafo and to menye school fees. Why should it be the case? And that is why if there is any reason why I follow this political party MPP me follow no to my data, it is simply because of some poor policies be to say free SHS or omode ba no ene wonim kola dodo omatumi akọ secondary school as a result of free SHS before e beba abem no onua every year enkola over 100,000 e katefi omuntumi nko school because of poverty. 100,000 What it means is that for the 8 years of NDC between the year 2000 and 2009 and 2016, no, in Kola 800,000 or more in the category if you want to be in secondary school.
107.3.
Na kakra nso want to be quiet, no. Yeah, to be fair, more idea and fame, no. We had to deal with humiliation. We had to deal with embarrassment. We had to deal with frustration before we were able to complete senior high school. Na bayaba, na bayin say, me fa on my nisika. Na me de tuya akwala bi ahoka. Say we ye hieni, say we ye sikeni. We wie school nko ade a, ko secondary school na kɔ free. Na won so wo da ache ni so ade hu a wo no. Entumi mbe mu a, wo si ya pray ho.
Right, I feel what I can who I tumpan jumadi ni ade somo wa sasepa 107.3. Mebacho uti enka in Ashanti region Asante Mantemu ye live ewo ho uti na ye asase 98.5 FM. Anu wo Kumase uti enka ewo ho asase 99.7 ewo Tamale in the northern region asase 100.3 ewo Cape Coast in the central region. Facebook live ubetuma join ye wadwin chobetumi dia ba ye bejibre na fe ya kenkan ede amount. Facebook live asasipa 107.3 yankan few messages na yemrasesia yeba to asebedi nkomo ye hu se nya economic growth by still ukwadwa so a eno maboadin Dennis adana aba because ye nimsa say ye nya economic growth a
kakrakra niema no bon de eso atete na nya nunkran and then tomatoes me fi and then me call anope what's that friend me na me catch me say me call mountains okwa adroso a tomatoes 5 cedi e bottom.
Few messages my remember say I like what you said say no man bo no ya tete so bat ndun kran me ba Benjamin Ajay was say Nanado is a big blessing na dia wodi aba no was say Nanado e nhira na na ma for appear was a wonderful submission was God bless you miracles. Benjamin Ajay once again was say Nanado no man pan no boy adwuma pa Saidu Abdullahi was say it's possible Owusu Listowa ne dia was say it is possible. Kevin Ajakum was say bravo. Lawson Ahinkan Kofi Asante was say Ghana ye wa de pa MPP ya de papa as a Ghana for nyina edi MPP achi was say Ghana for be benefit from MPP government and Jomonto aba Emma Dr. Mahmoud Baomia Amwa was say fine brain was say adwene so adwene ye adwuma was miracles was adwene abo adwuma pa I do say Francis was say God will bless this man. I like your senior high school response was say kwan ya fa so yi free senior school no na ni je ho pa Kojo Fori anyinam ono so ne dia wode aba no was simple explanation simple finito uma adwuma ne simple communication adwuma no uma ne simple crap. Lord Derek was say excellent delivery ono so ne dia wode aba no nshaba Nedia Odiaba so well explanation Nedia Odiaba no Idrus OJ was a Aboagye God bless you was ubetimi ahwe 24/7 abra oren ho ana so feel lazy because adwene kese kasa tumpan memomoni adwuma sasepa 107.3 mobile transfer ampa ono so nedia wode aba no Brighter J Mensa was say excellent submission we medical kind na wusu was say papa mi hia ne da but wo gba adwuma pa we oyin sama no wa no ma aye simple omo ana muntimi ente no ma se no mka se wo aban ya be adwen abia be kunye no wo cheche nsemu ama manfo atimi atensem ase Lord was say COVID ebaye ebe high economy but nyan coupon Asian people aban say MPP aban asen ye afimu kakrakra ye kosin kakrakra ye bedru na no wusu was greeting from the United Kingdom was be UK and amehwemo ye chiamo yamamumo any adwuma ewo UK and na mpotamo ono so na dia wodi aba Brighter J was say excellent submission Brighter dia we feel ali awudo atemdie dia medical catch say mintimi kinkan atem no Citizen Coffee was a great one there ono so na dia wodi aba no yawo was full price yate so enti amanfo ni mo nko bisa aban na ebu adwuma se na be amanfo ho be hinha mo but nipa bonfo a won pe wasam de se be wo sawasa na wachia nipa also ne dia wode abraye no was bo no hene mo bu adwuma but mo ho modern se bono na mpotam so no mo benya radio stations e be peke na fe ye hu nwuma pa MPP aban o mo ye e wo my Ghana mo Miracles, that's what I'm in the Bono about forward. Jumadi no Aya Sasipa, Ewa Sasipa 107.3, Aya Tumpan Jumadi, and Yade Somo, and I would want to check up course in the central region, Asas 100.3, so, and our Betty and Ka, Asas 99.7, our Tamale in the northern region, Asas 98.5, Kumasi in Ashanti region. Now, maybe certain is questions, Yenya economic growth, ye GDP, expanded by 6.9%. But I still am for say omuko dwaso no omuko tadia. Baby a normal bono ejina no ehwa de jina. Now say normal bono endrun cry.
Normal bono abafem. Nkan enye ndu ye. And
but then am ready say bedrun cry.
Oh say unim say nkan de I say no republic within republic. A matter of time. Because you see for example tomatoes ebo abafem and yakasa abafem yensa abafem kotwa. Tomatoes are can be about 3,000 cedis. I bet for my baby do 500 cedis. So it's a very drastic reduction. Mekubu abafem. By year nebia and can no beton ebia 250 cedis. No, about for my baby do 25 Ghana cedis. It's abafem. Brodier bo abafem and opesa test ya me adoso ya no pay I wanna me free maybe. It's just a matter of time. You know, say clearly no in all of these crises, no. You will use a friend profiteering and see a bit taking a while for Accra impact and so to be felt. But it is very obvious across the country there, prices of goods, especially food stuff there, above them drastically. Onya, and young Krankwane Ghana. Yeah. There were 16 regions in this country. Even Greater Accra no cry Greater Accra no. So Oko Dodo, I'm so Dodo Amina Accra. Nema bo ofem. Oko Shayo Sudoku, Nema bo abafem. Enti kakran and opa bio phone lines nama omo mo techimai omo mo salaga omo mo busa south omo mo kintampo omo mo kofodia so omo frel and you would hear testimonies say indeed niama boy den abafem and the Accra situation is a bit unique kakra when we say baby amete won kra ha any baby a market we near the uti market in the crowd to say yes when your market I bet niama so 10 times. But it's just a matter of time. The impact would also be felt in Accra. But the fact of the matter is, across the rest of the 15 regions in there, outside Adenta Haye, you do Kitasia, you realize that tomatoes are now tono, ABN can 50 cities, and Ababe do 5-10 cities, and that is a matter of fact.
Right, maybe I see an auntie more say Chicago and a war a ho and war hayen a free was say Miracles more any a juma. One year financial secretary man PP Chicago chapter was so pro didia or wamso edidi Chicago for Edama say some tum na mo shayen ewo when I heard free Germany e bedama say MPP for Germany na platform no so say ayeshe ye dama say e tumpanjuma de wasasapa 107.3 FM where jumadi a no nsia kwapem no nkono every day from Monday to Friday ye de be somo na fe yamo hu kanea no ene baabi a MPP aban pese wode wo man Ghana ekọ Ekodru. Now, you have 74 days more to election 2024. How prepared is MPP?
Every win election. Every win elections. There is no doubt about that. And we are winning this election simply on the performance of this government.
Regardless of survey, Ahodwa, Babi or Hua, and Koyima, Abano, or Koyima Abano.
So, do not for say each of the surveys are banning almost every month, not ye improve it. It tells you that survey by ye fa not a question them near her. I just say, then a survey neka. Bibia, I see a yard near Bohom by near me. Bibia say, a yard, I see your boy home than ye near and it has guided us up to where we are now. So, okay, correctly, a friend is saying presidential primaries we are. People were even saying, say, a Kwamben or Dr. Mahmoud Bami, Abe Fasoko be Pia Babon campaign. I don't know if you remember. I'm saying, no Bob Abe catch Ghana for.
Mas or catch up Gabon.
Wetobia.
Also, Wetobia.
Now, when I campaign, say Dr. Mahmoud Bami in this campaign. Why? But candidates back out there, young people be on to candidates or more 13 candidates or more ballot papers. Why? In this 2024 elections, why your campaign and send Dr. Mahmoud Bami? Your Bakumpo. We don't even have one. Each of the candidates working in this contest will be in our answer say Dr. Mahmoud Bamia. In so talk on Nemu, a we about on Nemu. Meno can say as we speak, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia was Central Regional. He's been touring Central Region. Unrested one day in Poo. And in all his campaign tour, the Okache Ghana phone and say, ebusuafo dodo na ye ba ye kase ye be bebre na yetubi aye ba bebre nso na aka ye ntumi nyeye de tie ne se ne be ya yenkoye ne se de si ya na ano no ye ka betumi a anka de aye no yembo ho ban na de aka ye ntumi yeye no yento ye boase nka. And I'll take you on a very 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 short journey. One of the reasons why this country is going to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Okay, 2008. Oman Peninkofo. In fact, by the time Oman Peninkofo ba bemu in the year 2000, na Ghana ye were to join him. We were in deep economic crisis. In the year 2000, when Kofo took over, that was the time Ghana, you say, we were part of one of the most poorest countries in the world. In fact, I do baby no. Now Oman Peninkofo sikakra ye debetuya Aboagye juma ye foka in 2001 kran ni enibi. He had to go and declare Ghana as a highly indebted poor country, as a benya fiscal space to be able to work. You remember? Great. Now between 2000 and 2008, by the time I do 2008, say Kwakotwabano, na Ghana, you find the golden, the gateway to Africa. You remember? We were said to be when in the golden age of business. That was the time almost we were the black stars of Africa. Those were the days. Fear na banks about who fear se beje bosi ara fa kwa edwuma. Standard Bank, Barclays Bank, Fidelity Bank, they come to us at home say yambeje bosia na yemfanko edwuma. I'm sure you remember. Ghana was at its glorious moment in the year 2007-2008, but something happened in the year 2008. That was when we had the Wall Street economic crunch. So okay, Emma Wall Street collapse ya crisis by a be affected or maybe to say Ghana. In 2008, Oman Peninkofo after 2008, not the national health insurance aba, not the free capitation aba, I'm a basic education are free, or the school feeding program aba, I'm here from better to me school need you this okay. Now or the in fact school direct the bank for life free, or the free maternal health care aba, Emma Ghana for Emma no mo kwa wo so omu no ni ye fio. You remember say my way mu kwesi botwe okọ parliament so okọ budget and the NDC a okọ maternal mortality rate and the infant mortality rate statistics. You remember
emma omu kwa wo so a omu ntimi enya omu ba na omu mafie bi o right
na kai statistics so it was part of our statistics and it was in our budget reading. You remember and when am so man Peninkofo ko free maternal health care by emma statistics no ye yi free ho. In spite of Sanyoma way Oman Peninkofo ye nyina no ye do 2008 no onya kwanhia mienu global economic crisis na meka ho asem no and the second one no it was yankasa ye mu issues effect ye nya on some of based on some of these global economic crisis. That was the time ye nya fuel shortage and a water shortage. Okay, in fact labon in the cantonment akra no nsuo a ye benom kwa na eni nti yesra no pa na ekwa yellow gallons near the Namkwa Kwan. I'm sure you remember. And the Kofa gallon here then. Eba ye no. Those were the days Kufo time. Akabe 6 months ekwa kotu abano. Ni enya fuel crisis. At the same time fuel prices cost no na short. Inti cars ko park wo filling station 2-3 days as enya fuel ato. And because of these two challenges. Bro because of these two challenges inti NDC for them don we
Debi.
Omu say chale Ghana for dwa. Because Kufwa ye no ma pa o Kufwa je nyoma chese nyoma Kufwa ye bi kra nie but say ye pe 6 months to election na Kufwa pensuwa no mamunya 6 months to elections na Kufwa kotofu wala so mko line 2-3 days itunim omko print bank statement fake bank statement na omode nam Kufwa na ban ya kronfo ye pensuwa kra no yenya enhwehwe musika omode gu bank account mu omusika ekura Richard na nko ansika owo ebetumi amagana fo nyansuwa no but mutimo dinti mohwe de omaya muntunti omo Kofo na banye wia gold reserves e wo Bank of Ghana nyina de kogu abochire
but yet me politics no man ye times ah
muntunti omo Kofo oye immoral enti oni broni bi akowo ye fre broni no gizeyazi ntafo ne fa mo Paul and Peter keka nsem basa enne na Paul and Peter beba obi nim NDC for Kasantoye to Ghana 40 more and rightly so because see say yenya nsuo num ne yenya fuel npa Ed say we are buying Okasa nipa betie. And the opposition party took advantage of this. And they ran down the Kufo government and the MPP government. And so Ghana, you may say one of the biggest opportunity to hold our development at that time, consolidate it and build upon it. Na Ghana for bufu yam say na mo ye pension no me nya na mo musike go account mu nie ye be 20 am and we lost the 2008 elections. You lose you between 2009 and 2016. By the time you do 2016, now this country has gone back to the dark ages. We were on our knees. 2016 and 2020 my foka won my way. 2016 nya kanea emma enyuma amfa nya adwuma. It's a company shut down.
You lay workers in the crowd.
We laid workers off. Media houses laid workers off. Okotama company no mo fa nipa by 1,000. Omo lay off 800. Eka 200 pe. Enkwafo abusuafo ekunu no one papa no omo maame no ewu theater empaso because ye operation no yedum kanea. People died. People lost their jobs in 2016. Nurse for ni teacher for we adwuma 4-5 years. No mutifie inform adwuma mu. Obi aye adwuma 1 year aban se minister metu a 3 months. Obeji ajeun die jai. That was how bad the situation was in this country. Social safety nets. Ye de magana for here for national health insurance. Nipa 1.5 million. And they do 2016 no more year mo fi national health insurance so because na egu. O the card no go hospital kwa na doctor for the nurse for buefu. Open national health insurance card the renewal. Obetwe 3 weeks and so wetin your card na den I renew. Here for ma anke so mtu ko school no so mo dachi etumi ye mo no 100,000 afebia na ejom trefi because yenye scared betu mo nka. Teachers and nurses or more colleges are ye disika ebo mo ho ban efri ye na normal breast so ye de hwe no ye gifri omo nse because abai niska e de betu ante ye gifri omo nse. That is how bad our situation was as a country. But it was too late for us to go back between that time because we had already made the mistake. Nya to mama wie unya to man wie 2009 na wo ye ho hwe yi se wo pew se wo mpew e ko do be fa osu bia no be den e se do wo fa so
anya 2009 after elections abobrosi ha ya kwa hihia amamfo no makotake amamfo
mi ye ho hwe
wow
unya yes a mistake na wa ye wie. And it is based on our history ya media ma winti ina wo fa Ghana hafa nyina you hear people say ejitum no ma de emu ayeden nemum si ye hwese ne aban we afa so akrakra ne o ma bepem ne ne ye de toto o mampani dada yundie ho a ye gidi say we ye because you see the difference between these elections and the past elections and say NDC for candidates no mo de ba no onye nipa foforo oyobi a some o ka che yen no wa ba ba ka che ye pen ama ye gina so ato aba ma ne pen enti ye gina ye nim sania ne su ene ne ban esitie onim so mampani mahama ne the only president or call one time ye tutia no. It tells you how bad he was and how incompetent he was as a former president. Mm-hmm. He's the first president or call one time pa ye to abetia no. It tells you how bad his situation was. Enti ye refuse sa he was a very bad president. He was incompetent, completely incompetent. Obuya bofia embra o mani mu ye dia ne ye complain ye ka o se minti obia. Nurse for ne doctor say yes rew o mani mo ye den te se ne nei o man yi mu ye nyina gitum se ne ma mo ye den aban e ma kokofo sika ntumu o mo ma adwumayefo akatua ntumu no o mo se yes rew fa kakra ka o man o se e kan no kwa na me be ma mo de anka muntu ntia me. Strike na moso mbeko strike me hu strike hu me meto osisi ya no ma yeso odwanfu no me nsuro sekan. That is what the former president told us. And you see, this is the same person I was saying nam Ghana catch Ghana for someone to obama no. And the Ghana person says aden na ye man nipa foforo kwan na ono so mfa ne die so ne nani so de hu owo ne ye den emba anye hwe krampo no ko ni modie ye hu ne pen
ahwane ko ni mo
former president mama ye hu ne pen di obetumi aye bia no wa ye pen na ya ma Dr. Mahmoud Bamia kwan no so amfa ne de amba ne ye mesesa opportunity we ya ye nim da foforo a ye betumi asan so ye den enya sa opportunity no na ma metro ade ba kokra eku NDC for campaign no ye ko nyina no Dr. Mahmoud Bamia e sha ase fi de ne ye beto in 2017 de ne ye ba ye tumi aye no kre de aka ye ntumi ye nie ba mesrem meniso ade hu amewo enie intoni teacher for kasa o se mesrem ye ba ye no anka enya ya anka kwetwe ne betu mu aka ho ba be etumi didu ye nie na mom ehihye foforo me de ba mo no ebi nie teacher ni bia wo Ghana ha bia no se me ba from 2025 memma some incentives bi na wotumi nya car ketu bi na so de ide wo da bo ho bi na enye bank workers kwa na so mutumi toka teacher ni so mutumi to mani ide o se mesrem mo to ba mame free senior high school me ba me bo ho ba na me make sure se senior city na ye tue nkola no ho ka na ye betua na mum me beboa na bebi aka na ye se miemiem na ye miemiem ye se school da na bi ka ho yɛsɛ yɛtɔ nkonya no bi ka ho yɛsɛ yɛma teacher fo dodoɔ ka ho saa nneɛma mmiɛnsa wei ɛne nneɛma mede m'ani bɛkɔ ho paa when it comes to free senior high school madaroma yɛapɔmuden ho nsɛm no wɔn sɛ mede drone baayɛ drone no supply nneɛma medical supplies across the country yɛwɔ mmienu aka yɛsɛ yɛtumi si baako wɔ Funsi na yɛsi baako wɔ Kintampo sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ Ghana ha nyina ɛbɛkɔba baabiara montoma me na mebɛyɛ ntoa so mohu agenda 111 ne yɛsi no abɛn bie ne waba in 8 years was set such an audacious agenda say I will fix the health infrastructure gap once and for all than this government yɛnwie over 80 a friend is saying district hospitals say yɛsi yɛnwie yɛgu so montoma me ba ma bɛtoa so na ma yɛ firi hɔ ayɛ ama yɛwie mohu mbratia ne mmaba na ɔmokɔ universities na ɔmokɔ ɔmo struggle no mebɛka scholarships ne ayɛ ma wɔ aban mu ne nyinaa bom ne yɛtumi make sure sɛ scholarship ne yɛde bɛma no ehiafoɔ mma na ɔmo hia scholarship no ɔmɛtumi nye bi ayɛ dan akɔ school nti ɔnam ne nyinaa no ɔkyerɛ woyɛ teacher ni a wode yɛ de ɔbɛyɛ ma wo woyɛ carpenter ni a wode yɛ de ɔbɛyɛ ma wo woyɛ mason wode yɛ de ɔbɛyɛ ma wo woyɛ doctor wode yɛ de ɔbɛyɛ ma wo and that is what has led the people to buy into Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign message say or clear cut message for the businessman or say I am going to give you a lot of tax incentives say be able to be start can den ase ya hye wadwumanim enti port wo no duties no me teso ama na ba fam anya hwe krampo na say to me ba fam bedu bebi Togo for duties no wo no empo etu ba fam sense e beba ebiem o say ankrankra ni businesses mu nyina ye bema mo flat rate tax regime say na be ya enya afi na akofa pen paper calculate and Nigeria Rebecca chose utua 10 cedis e chose utua 11 cedis obie nim de obetua me wia esane say me the new tax reforms aba ebeboa na wadwuma ne to bi akọ nanim nti me the worker wo de nyina ebechewo na wa hye ase foforo na wa ye na foforo nti businessman no o tie Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia or clear in his mind what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is promising na bohi when him say business is a work Ghana ha no 80% no actually 90% of businesses and companies in Ghana him say SMEs businesses in Ghana about 90% are SMEs now when him say workers formal sector workers a year juma e won nwuma mu no when him say 80% of Ghanaian workers a year juma in the SMEs into say me the SME bank beba the SME bank ne baba ya ne say it provide capital financial support among the thousands of SME companies and businesses we have in this country maka mineral development bank na ode bandada e beboa mineral sector no owie no o say ne be ya yesika ne begina nti mo a mo pese mo ye interested in the economic conversations no I am going to build a gold backed currency se ne be ya yeside no ye de e beta na chi na enya hoden stronko owie no o say industrial base no we are going to create a lot of economic industrial zones across the country na ye boost factories na ye build across the country no and you 11 automobile companies are almost assemble cars in Ghana e kwan be na ye be fa so Ghana for dodo na betu menye biato uhia cash ni ada to bibia o se unim ye ka yakomanto yem amaya o makọ manim no enye cash ene tu mo kọ manim e credit system the enti a oman we ye ntumi nya credit system papa bia ma omuntumi free ade ma ye ntua nkakrakra no eye because we don't have a strong credit scoring system enti me ba me de a more comprehensive credit rating and scoring system beba sene be ya Ghana ni bia wo Ghana ha ba bia no obetumi ato ade bia pese oto
we credit card yeah
ukọ wiase afa na nyina asa na ye no anything na wo fa se betu kwa fi Ghana no akọ America 6 months time no afra se watoka one fax sika ankoto car at once jo ye ne se wakwaje car na fi car dealer no ho na otua ne nkakra Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said we should bring that into this country now do you know what happens do you know what will happen when a lot more people are buying the more people are buying the more the companies need to produce and once the companies need to produce more they would now have to employ more people and in there is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's solution to your friend is saying employment increase demand so that we would have to increase production and in increasing production we have to expand and as we expand we have to employ more people footballers crampo offer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia message on namuna footballers crampo home or see a Premier League teams no bebre na eboa mrantie enye adwumaye and me no ka say footballers yi nyame ya wado no munya brochire kwa brohi omusika omde ball ma we bebre into we need to help our football clubs and our Premier League teams into what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is saying say obeto bass ama every Premier League team owia Premier Leagues no aban be mo musika no mo tumi de bia abo mo akwama to the extent say almost salaries players and salaries kwa no aban ne beboa na teams no etumi aboa etua players and salary. What would happen is that it's going to build the capacity of these football teams. It's going to make our league more competitive, and this is going to open up opportunities for our footballers in our local league. Omo kono omunye bibo no ti say kudus mo ne party mo no omunye ska omai we mu an omde beden omo beba ababedi ewo omai we mu. Everybody in this country is seeing themselves in the message Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is carrying around. He's meeting the people in their homes. He's meeting the people at the lorry parks. He's meeting the people in the church. He's meeting the people every corner you can find yourself. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is there engaging the people and giving the people real reasons why they should vote for him. And that is why I can tell you without any shade of doubt, say, about to in December 17, former President Mahama will lose. He will lose so much.
Imagine the best saying.
Oh, imagine they say 1.1 cry the chow. Yeah, the NDC be chow. And we are going to beat the NDC with a strategy on measuring hormones. I said that.
I don't know what kind of strategy is. How?
Some men come strategy. And they Kotokoni has come strategy about it. You be chow. You be show.
Babra Mubekabiano, NDC for say Mupesemuya.
You be that. I'm near one of say, and your former President Mahama no say Ghana. The elections in the city will be into me.
But the former President John Dramani Mahama tape no mami. 2015 proud to 2016 elections. Brahman for raising issues about EC electoral process no de wokaye na fe ene de woka yentia bi mrasese ya ye ba 20 lines no enche bia on 0594157777 wo brochira WhatsApp call ebeba wo Ghana so betimi afreyen lines no ye 0594157777 again 0594157777 me pacho ye ni atem atumpanju wadie no ye ni atem e fast and ye can facts are sacred. And just bisa person bisa miracles no akwanya beba am watimi ebisa no asasepa 107.3 but Kaisa in Ashanti region Kumasi precisely asase 98.5 so and I would in Asase 99.7 our Tamale in the northern region asase 100.3 our Cape Coast in the central region. Facebook live asasepa 107.3 yentie the former president John Dramani Mahama.
All kinds of accusations, including unprintable insults held at the person of the EC chair, have become normal. This is unacceptable. But for students of politics, we can see the strategy behind it. It is an old trick in the book. Vilify the referee and reduce the credibility of the referee in the eyes of the public when you can tell you are losing the match. This creates a platform where when you lose, to discredit and contest the outcome of the match. And this is the underlying cause for all the whining that is taking place against the Electoral Commission at every step of the electoral process.
The former President John Dramani Mahama flip-flopping 2015 proud to elections, 2016 elections. MPP for raising concern was hey. Munya kana yenyaiti. Mu create unnecessary tension awo mainum. Na then the free Robert Barahemu and Nadia NDC for no create that unnecessary tension on the EC. Hearing come on, ya 20 lines no 0594157777 miracles that so I will have. Number 1 on the ballot symbolically ejina Emma Bibiana breaking the 8 with breaking the 8 mantra, then number 1 on the ballot. Dennis, I meet you.
You see, NDC for more can need it's because they are always very lazy. And this one we need for. And Opa show more part in the system, no more part in the structures. Naturally, your electoral processes, you realize that they are a very lazy group of people, and as a lazy political party. And NDC, one of the weakest political structure you can find in this country. Senior, you were about in the last elections here, they were 38,622 polling stations, and they had to call into the last elections, 2020 elections. 38,622 polling stations. In each of the 38,622 polling stations, MPP Yewo omo ye from polling station executives. Polling station executives no omo ye 5. Yewo polling station chairman, polling station secretary, polling station organizer, polling station youth organizer, and then polling station women organizer. 5. Sa 5 yi omo no mo represent MPP e was our polling station him. Now in the 2020 elections, easy for adopted strategy bi. Omo say because of some person ye to aba na ye to wi entem na yenko wura adajusu munti. Polling stations no omo say polling station ni so ma album numbers ni so ma ne be average about 500. Into polling station bi wo ha e bi omo ye be ye mfa ne say 1000 a omo chemu 2 me say me polling station me to aba wom e wolate omo chemu 2 omo ye A and B. Sometimes you see some of the polling stations omo say A and B, e be RC primary A, RC primary B. I don't know if you've noticed that. Great. In each of these polling stations, MPP or executives or now me come chrome latte. Now the baby me to about me polling station album no me bia. Me to me akere obi o album ni mu. If you obi atim.
Wow.
Obi ani nua ne wo fase. Why we nua.
Ohu din no a.
Obi na say me ho. En cry na me ka say problem no bebre wa ya kra problem. Problem no bebre wa ya kra problem. E mo mo tete kanto me ni laboni na mo next don dey be there dem ni mo. Me come chrome. Opa step outside Accra. Polling stations no. We all know ourselves. So the police station executives, yeah, MPP, yeah, and say, yeah, police station executives will be a copy of the album I see the Ama omo di my NDC. Enti omukra album no mafa. Dennis Aboagye. We teacher Aboagye no we not take abejere no. Na ya take. Naomi they say anti Radioaba no. Radioaba they say ne wa take. Enti yeah no, we have been able to identify who is dead, who lives in the area, who doesn't live in the area, who is yenimo bi our album nim. Enti your concerns ni your problems say you during exhibition no ni raising with easy. Because that is what the exhibition is meant to do. The exhibition now and say exhibition is there
or identify errors via yeah.
Now who said say album no yentumi nya errors wo. Ye benya errors wo because and now me no ka say sebi obi wa album no mu anka wa na just obeto by December. Ade be che no we free. Inti ebe do 7 December no o clean album no 4 December kra o be do 7 no o benya obi a we free mu. But wo adwuma ne say as a political party no exhibition nankasa your audit. Because the exhibition gives you an opportunity to identify the errors or the challenges in the album and raise with the electoral commission, which we have done. Now more very weak party and you want to transfer more inefficiencies and more incompetence and more weak political party system onto the entire country. Say because Mufi say my dream no Mufi said there are anomalies. Now say anomalies now and branding him say to me about the exhibition by because the law envisages that there could be challenges, there could be errors. And to normal day exhibition by so what you do during exhibition is to identify the anomalies. Now then say wo police station come some more branch executives. Say mo branch executive be fa mo album. No ma hwem, no mo atumi ache we ni fear. Na mo dey come easy correct. Is there any better audit than that?
That means so many evidence we have.
And a KPMG on me fa album no me kuro mo betumi ache me the part baby ofi. KPMG. How are they going to do a forensic audit on the police station in my area? Deloitte and Touche. How are they going to do any forensic audit in my area? How are they going to do that? A comment on me to say me police station album ma auditor na
identify.
So what are we talking about? So is there any better independent audit than you, the political party yourself, taking up the responsibility and fixing it? That's what we have done. That's what the MPP has done.
I didn't hear MPP for you. They didn't know.
No, because they are lazy. And you see any issue. There were issues. But you're raising with the EC, and we have given it to them, and they are mandated by law to correct it. Now, me adeba kunti a MDC for ni isi ntokwa na me makama no atum ni say me nkoko NDC for ntokwa mo ko ka 2016 embra na ye ni because isi no me de bia me kama say me nkasa ma isi
2016 prior to 2016 elections we raised the same concern.
Yeah, the same concern. Yeah, concerns also were similar electoral processes now, but the same. Apart from that no me nkasa ma isi me isi to omo ye one organization omo ye me namfofo.
Why?
Na isi no omo ye me namfo na isi na enimu tetere omo muni isi no do omo de ye no bi eni omo nsesa ye isi na ye what 2016 omo mpeni mahama kasa ye say they are the best institution in this country, no. The same is in an year.
Bibian society.
Isi na ye call demonstration omo de horse whip ehwe gabi oche da ko unimi ye penny ba ko gabi oche omo de horse whip ehwe no o san ne picture no iconic picture na bi na no nsha atare no
me am chaman
ai omo bo ne chimpri.
Wow.
Isi the same isi ye call demonstration in 2016 ema omo tu abrante ba ko ni wa famawu. He's dead, he died, and this because someone lucky omo call demonstration bi ambo omo police in be inform on san komo ye kra the same issue when we're raising concerns, so they beat us on top of it. And when we're raising issues, former president Asamoah Mabwa Mobiati Esiedun Ketia, the general the friend said the national chairman of the NDC or say EC has a lot of inherent systems to clean itself. Until we should use those processes that the electoral commission has.
Miracles, maybe some questions that one no symbolically represent Bibiana and no now. Yeah.
Oh, to be very honest with you, me omo believe in numerology and Dr. Mahmoud Bamia isn't. But what we know is that easy identification of your candidate on a ballot paper makes a lot of difference. And there is no doubt, say, number one, no, if there is anything symbolic about it, it is the ease of identification.
Because then tell me, besides, is the first ballot by more pick one, second ballot by in an opaque object. Object a womb still most of
the say makacho sem go for baby to mo kan say become between the go ye go for your onim mama ka say me cho first no mo say ye yi Dr. Mahmoud Bamia ye wie omo wie kra omo ye campaign ene omo say omo hihye omo tete omo say hwe, and as we speak now they don't see their left from their right. And when I tell you we'll beat them, you should be rest assured say we'll beat them. These are the same people omo catch and see a new message create the Bekwa and then they are struggling. So I just say, enti Nyankopon wahihye niyama ne dada. Wodi bibia to akwemu dada. And that is why and ne kra ukase ensan kwa ballot for kra still ano. The MPP will still pick one. And when the MPP pick one no, for ballot paper na. The eka nyina ne say ne Nyankopon catch Ghana for nyina ne say, unyaje ballot paper na hwe de odaso na to man na kofi.
Simple. And
afi na okokan. Na what me ba mba say oto about 2020 udu police you won say the police you nipa gu o hot obi wo ko ja ho a o ja boss na obubu
o pentam kra kofi
enya afi na okokan no ma de en into to one o de men ha ho nya o be say wa
en hwedi no kra o de to one
na okokan
me ba to me sure ba
o ka say wo kan na ye mistake na en dey.
Miracles, Jasuka Krabi Mame, yeah, activated lines, you know, democratic dispensation. Wait me, actually, watching, but I need your coin so be the atom platform was with you. And yet, say, you bet you Sasapa 107.3 FM in Ashanti region, and Asase 98.5, 40 and Kawawa, Yama Mo. Nisa Utien and the Anime, Asase 99.7 or Tamale, Yamamotoma in the northern region, Asase 100.3, our Cape Coast in the central region. Facebook Live, Asasepa 107.3, lines 059 415 7777. Omo amanone yawusa mo monitor muti empa. Esay was applying to amanone awfre na. Ebeba yemfa first caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Me patron ni baby out here in cafe na nyumre.
Na patron you me Awuchi.
Right.